Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit. I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off, if you can believe it, by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego to the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. And if you feel like being a lurker, well, you can just go ahead and lurk. My pre-roll check looked fine. I'm so red on camera. It looks like I have been drinking. But earlier, hey Lashbrook, it was not that when I set everything up, so that's fun. So let's do the old white balance here. There we go. This is like a hair paler than I actually am, but it's way better than what we had there a second ago, which was, as you might be aware, inaccurate. I don't know. Sometimes that just happens. I get all my lighting turned on and ready before I open up OBS, and that should make it so that I don't have to have that kind of white balance get weird. But because sometimes if I have OBS and the webcam on and then I turn a bunch of lights on, it doesn't know what to do with that. So that was weird. So I apologize for the weirdness. Anyway, it's a Thursday. And I'm working on the real grade, the Wing Gundam Zero real grade. I've got the waist here. I've got the legs done. We got all the legs done. And now it's, we're going to keep assembling. We're going to get done with the bottom half. Then we're going to move on to the chest, which will be good. And move up from there. The chest. Let's see. What do they want me to do? They want to do the chest and then the arms. Yeah. Chest, then... a bunch of parts like the shoulders and the arms here, yeah, and then we'll do the head after that, and then the backpack, which is also the wings, and then like the shield, which is also the cockpit. There's a bunch of stuff. Hey, weirdly enough, there's a bunch of stuff left to build on this kit, so we will get into that. Let's go to the overhead camera. Why the F not? We'll do that there. I got some pieces set out there. I did a little finger workout there, getting things ready, and we'll just get this going here. I forgot that this instruction booklet is like kind of a little shiny and reflective in this lighting, which I do not like. It's not the end of the world, but I don't enjoy that part. All right, so then this is gonna go like this. I did this at the end of the last stream, so you'd think I'd remember, but turns out I don't remember how this went. So that goes like that. Then this goes on here. And then this goes on here. Oh, there's a nubbin. I didn't remove the nubbin. I gotta do that real quick. One thing I didn't say since the last stream, I should add this in here. Hey, save the date, February 6th. Let me get the image in there. Go, boop, boop. Let me add in the February subathon. Let me just put that right here for just a second. I'll do a little work while I talk about it. I got a subathon coming. It's my semi-annual subathon. This is my winter subathon, generally either in January or February. And I would love for you to come and hang out for that. It'll start at 3:30 p.m. on Friday, February 6th, and we'll run 4 hours plus, probably to 7:30, maybe a little beyond that. We'll fucking see how things go. And I have some incentives. My goal is to get to 90 subscribers. And I will have, as I said, various incentives to help me get there. All right, so I gotta... Why does this piece not want to go on easy? It doesn't want to go on right. Sorry, hold on. Then I'll keep talking. It's gonna go on like that, but it doesn't want to. Why don't you? There you go. There it goes. Okay. All right, so now I can panel line this, and then we'll put the legs on. But yeah, at 30 subscribers, I open up a box of useless trivia cards. These cards are indeed, they're called useless trivia cards, and they're like, they say like questions, and then they have the multiple choice, and they give you the answer. And I'll just like peruse some of those. I think that would be the thing, and we can like check in on it throughout the course of the stream. I thought that would be nice. We're going to use every color here. So we'll do that. At 40 subs, I have a small little Lego build to do, which I thought would be fun. At 50 subs, I will build a quick Pokemon model kit. Like literally a very quick build. 60 subs is karaoke, some of my all-time favorite karaoke songs. I thought that would be a good time. And then at 70 subs, a tour of my many mods in my game of Fallout 4, which I am nearing the end game of Fallout 4. I'm almost ready to partake in completely destroying the Institute via the Minutemen ending. And then at 80 subs, a spotlight of some of my favorite Joshi wrestling, some of which will be from like the past couple years, and some of which will be like a real deep dive into some older stuff. But just looking at some Joshi, because I like to watch that, and it's fun to talk about it. And then at 90 subs, I will drink a full glass of Dr. Pilk, which is Dr. Pepper and milk. 50% Dr. Pepper, 50% milk. If you're like, Pat, how is that how are you upping the ante from Monster Milk, which of course was the worst, which wasn't the worst, but was not great. And the answer to that is that I don't like Dr. Pepper. I think Dr. Pepper doesn't taste good. So it's the first soda I'll be drinking in this challenge that I don't like. Now, I don't love Monster Energy drink, but I don't hate it. I don't like it all Dr. Pepper. So that'll be unpleasant on both sides of it. Shaking my head, Texan Lee. Yeah, I just don't like Dr. Pepper. I don't enjoy it. But the other one, like, I like Pepsi, and I like Mountain Dew, and I don't mind Monster Energy drinks. So those have always been like, those past ones were like, well, this isn't the worst. So this one is the thing that I don't like, plus a thing that I'm not super fond of, which is milk, together. So I think that'll increase my dislike. And if you were wondering, the ranking continues to be Mountain Dew, and milk. Below that was Pilk, Pepsi and milk, and below that was Monster Milk. Monster Milk was the worst. There was like a foam at the bottom of the glass. It did not taste good at all. And then Pilk was fine. It wasn't anything crazy. It just wasn't good. And then Mountain Dew, I kind of liked. And I talked about previously maybe doing there's a root beer brand that has energy in it. It's like an energy drink. And I was like, well, maybe I could do that. But also I thought about doing root bilk. But I like root beer. Beaver Buzz. Yes, John. So that's actually the one that someone suggested, Beaver Buzz as one. And I was like, the thing is, I like root beer. I don't really love energy drinks, but I like root beer. So I was like, I think I like root beer too much to really want to do that. Also, hi, I'm John. It's very good. Nice. Yeah, I just don't really like how I feel on energy drinks. Like that I'll tell you this, I didn't drink the other half of that Monster because about half that Monster went into that glass and the other half went into my sink because I did not want to drink more Monster Energy because I just don't like energy drinks. So I did waste it. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know. So yeah, that's February 6th. Please save the date. If you can come by, that would be great. If you can give some subs, that would be neat. Hopefully by then we'll have already hit 30, so we'll start the stream with going into some trivia stuff. But if not, it should be hopefully fairly easy to get to 30. And then I have everything I want to build. I have the Pokemon build. I have the which is a quick build, so it should be very easy to do. We'll panel line it and all that. I have the Lego set already in my possession. That came in the mail yesterday or today. Today. Came in the mail today. That's right. Sorry. I got that and a FedEx package today. I got a G Gundam, a premium grade G Gundam kit. I have one more kit in the mail. My backlog is looking pretty stacked for January, which I'm certainly pleased about. I am happy about that. Oh, let me check. Let me check the Arios Gundam. It's coming from USA Gundam Store. I had enough credit there, enough store credit. Okay, it has not actually shipped. Okay, so it's somewhere in Florida. It was picked up from USA Gundam Store shipping it, location, and now it's not en route, but it's been picked up. So that's good. That's good to know. Okay, let's put the legs on here, and then we are done with the bottom half of this kit. And then we can move on to the working on the chest. Should be nice. Ba-boom. There it is. Hell yeah. So my backlog's looking pretty good, which is always nice. It's nice to not worry too much. It helps that I had that AdSense payout, so that $100 went towards model kits. Again, also the fact that from buying enough over the years from USA Gundam Store, I had some points to use, and I hadn't looked at it in a while, and I looked at it and went, oh, I don't have to pay for shipping for most things, so I'll just do that, which was really nice. Hey, Lord Crash is in. Welcome, welcome. Happy to have you here. February 6th. Catch it. It'll be a good time. I'm going to once again hope and ask and hope that he is okay with having Jeff Gersman raid, because that would be nice. And I did also make my karaoke earlier. It's still like if I got to 60, that would be, is it 60? I gotta look again. Yes, it's at 60. It's one of those things where like last year, or not last year, but it wasn't last year. Sorry, my birthday subathon. Karaoke was like the second to last thing, and I was like, oh no. It came right at the end. As you may remember, I owed people like that and like a couple other things, including the drinking the beverage. So I had to sing after I had drank the beverage, which was not ideal. And then also my voice was already kind of shot when it was time to sing. So the goal is to kind of change the order of that, to do singing a little earlier. And then also, it's going to be some of my favorite songs, which means I theoretically won't have to practice as much as I did with the anime and video game songs that I sang, which I needed. I needed a little bit more rehearsal time with those. But these are like songs I've sang probably half a dozen to 100 times at karaoke places. So I'm a bit more confident that I'll be able to nail that without it being a problem, because I'm well versed in those songs, so it should work out pretty okay. All right, so put this here, put this here. And put this here. Wait, how do you go? Go like that. Oh, you slide over. Okay. All right, that makes sense. I get it now. All right. That should be good there. But yeah, I mean, add it to the list of things. The nice thing about doing karaoke prep is it's just songs I like this time around. It's just songs I like to sing and have sang at karaoke. So it's just like, yeah, all right. That's not going to be bad. It'll just be like stuff I like to sing, and I'll just sing them a few times. That sounds pretty good. By that point, I will be in the Carolina room, which is the bonus room in the house that I will be set up to do streaming out of. So I've been set up there for a while. I thought about maybe doing it on the 30th out of this room, but I don't want to. I want to wait a little while because also then I'm like, it gives me more time to promote, which is good, and more time to get set up for things. And then I'll be comfortable in the other room with my setup. Also, because that Friday, I do have to record a few things. I might do that on Thursday, but I'll have to record a Pat Baer's Anime Club, which I don't know what it's going to be. I know the one I'm recording this weekend for Monday, to upload on Monday. I know what that one is. That's going to be because the first video I do every season after I do my showcase of my thoughts on the previous season and then the season to come, I do that video. All right, is this right? This doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right either. Okay, so this piece, that's got to go and lock in on this here. And that should lock in here. There it is. There we go. Okay. And then I got to put in E10. What was I saying there? Oh, yeah. So I know that I'm going to do my, for Pat Baer's Anime Club, the next Pat Baer's Anime Club, I know that I'm going to be talking about all of the many Isekai that are out this season. And if I'm going to be watching them, I might end up tuning in or I'm going to skip it. And there are, between TV shows, movies, and OVAs, there are 14 Isekai this season. And again, some of those are movies and specials, but that's a lot of fucking Isekai. And I'm watching a bunch of them. I'm currently watching 4 of them right now on a weekly basis. Or 5, right? Yeah, I'm watching like 5 of them right now. Which is a lot of Isekai. I don't know if I'm going to keep watching Easygoing Territorial Defense by the Optimistic Lord, but I think I probably will because I do like that. I've enjoyed that manga, and so I'll probably keep watching that anime because it's just fun. I am dropping the Holy Grail of Eris. I didn't love that first episode. It's intriguing, but I'm like, I'm good. I think I'm good. The possession part of it, I was like, I think I'm all right. All right, so we got this together. Then we need E13, E12, and E8. So we'll get all those out and then put them where we need them. Scratched out my head. So I went to Home Depot today. It's cold in South Carolina. Like it's cold for South Carolina and it's cold in South Carolina. It is both those things. And my dad was like, I want to get stones for like different parts of the yard. And I'm like, it's January. Why do you want to do that? And he's like, well, when I get back from Florida, it'll be too busy. And I'm like, it'll be too busy at Home Depot to get the things you want. You know they're not going to be in stock of what you want, right? And he was like, no, they have stuff there. And I was like, okay. Because I'm going with him because he wants to buy these big bags of different stones for the yard. And so I gotta put him on a cart and then put him in the car and then take him out of the car and put him where he wants them. And then he'll open them and distribute them. It's no big deal. I'm not having him pick up big bags of rocks. I'm just not having that happen because I'm there. So we go and we do that. We get there. And they don't have all of the things he wants. And he's like, oh, the selection is really bad. It's just like it used to be. And by that he means in like 2021, a lot of rocks were just not for sale, like stones in bags at Home Depot and the like, because the companies that, you know, processed those and shipped those out were like coming back from months of being behind schedule because of lockdown. And then, you know, so you can extrapolate, you know, perhaps some other stuff as well. And I was like, no, Dad, it's just January and they don't have a lot in stock. We are one of like 4 people outside right now. People just aren't buying them. There'll be plenty when you come back. And he's like, yeah, but then there'll be people here buying them. I was like, okay. He was like, well, I want this. And he wanted pure white stones, not gray stone. He wanted small, pure white stones. They didn't have them in the size he wanted. So I was like, okay, either you can get gray stones in the size you wanted or white stones that are bigger and less in the bag and also more expensive. And he was like, well, I don't want that. And I was like, okay, well, which one do you want? And he was like, I want small white stones. And I was like, okay. I was trying not to lose my fucking mind at the Home Depot. But as I said, there was nobody fucking there. So it was kind of okay for me to lose my mind. And I was like, no, I need you to understand. So I walked away from where we were. And I was like, I'll come back in a second. And I got a bag of small stones, the size he wanted. And I put it next to the bag of white stones that were big. And I was like, okay, which of these 2 do you want? Because I can't get you what you actually want. So either we get bigger stones that are white, smaller stones that are gray, or neither, and we just leave. And so he chose to get bigger stones. And he was like, well, we have to buy more stones then. And I was like, okay, sure. So we bought a bunch of stones. And it was fine. It was fine. But I was losing my patience. I'll admit, I was definitely losing my patience. I was just like, no, it's just one of these 2. I know you want the third thing. You can wait for the third thing. Because I know that I'm going to go back there with him in March. And we're going to get small stones that are white. And he's going to go, well, I don't know why they didn't have these in January. And I'm going to reply, because it was January. And that's going to be, it's just one of those things where I'm like, we're going to have this conversation in March. Like, I'm already a month and a half away from having this conversation again, and I don't look forward to it. It is just a really got me. John says Pat was about to start a falling down type movie. Yeah, I mean, I was just like, I wasn't losing my mind, but I was losing my patience for sure. Gonna get a nubbin off on here. But he's got some stones put in places. I don't know why he wanted to do it. I mean, I do know why, because he was obsessing about it, because he's convinced himself that he's ahead of the game by doing it. I don't, again, I don't understand it, but I don't agree with him, but I understand where he's coming from, just even if I think that it's nonsense. I was supposed to put this piece on first. Let me see if I can do it first. Oops, no. Yeah, I got to pop this piece out because I was supposed to put the other piece on first. And we'll see if I can easily pop this piece out without it being a problem. Yes, I can. Great. And then... all right. Also, there are nubbins on this piece, which I didn't realize. Okay. So, I got to take this here. And then I gotta go. Nope. Come on. There it is. Nope, that wasn't it. It's gotta go like that. Did that work? Yes, that worked. Okay. And then this piece goes in. Oops, there is a little nubbin that I didn't get off. So I'm going to get that off. Okay. And this. This went on fine the first time I did it. There it goes. Okay. That looks good. Then make sure that that is clean. Okay. So yeah, that was a part of my day today. That was not the best foot forward for my day, but it's over. I don't have to think about theoretically. I don't have to go back to Home Depot for a month and a half. So I'm excited about that because I don't need to be over there for anything. I don't have any reason to go. Sometime next month, I will run the lawnmower so that because it's been a while since I ran the mower, and just mulch up a bunch of leaves in the backyard. And that'll be good to make sure that thing's still working. And then also to get rid of some leaves and then bag those up. That's easy. That'll be my February trek out there. All right, I need A28. And then I need E3. The fabled E3. Back in my day. 28. Great. Let's see. Some news stuff. Let's talk about some stuff in the news. Let's see. There was some there are a bunch of fucking layoffs. We'll get into the big ones here. But we'll do a couple smaller layoffs, and then we'll get into the bigger layoffs, unfortunately, in the gaming industry. Ubisoft has, apparently in November of last year, Ubisoft laid off 29 people in Abu Dhabi. And it's now become more apparent that happened. This was now confirmed by Ubisoft. And they shelved some projects, and then this was apparently Abu Dhabi has a mobile studio, and they're focusing on Growtopia, and then they laid off 29 people. And then, of course, they're also apparently talking about maybe bumping up severance for the people who've been laid off from the Ubisoft Halifax location, and the layoffs for Massive and Stockholm, Ubisoft Stockholm, are of course pending, because in those countries you can't just lay off that many people without due cause and all other you have to go through a bunch of. It's an annoying thing that is supposed to make it so that you don't just lay people off and you find other ways to do that instead of the layoffs. They just run a bunch of make you jump through a bunch of hoops in order to theoretically make it seem not fucking worth it. So they have to go through that whole process of like announcement and meeting with labor boards and all kinds of things. But yeah, apparently the people that were attempting to unionize at Halifax that did unionize, that then the studio just got shut down. They might give them more severance, and I'm sure that will be conditional. And the condition will be, of course, hey, say you're not going to sue us. And that is conjecture on the part of me, Pat Baer, on that. Okay, I can't tell if this is supposed to go forward or backwards. That doesn't seem to fit right, so it must be this way. I think that fits right, yeah. Well, it doesn't really fit right either. And that collective bargaining is good. Yes. I mean, look, here's the thing. Collective bargaining is good. Yes. Yes, because are you telling me it pays to be in a union? Yes. It is. As someone who is not actively in a union right now, but is a full supporter of unions. And also, reminder, I'll mention this. I've mentioned this before. I'll certainly mention it again. I am somebody that directly benefits from union action, consistently benefit from union action, as someone who, does it go like this? This seems like it makes more sense. Sorry, some of these instructions are less clear than I would fucking like. Like, this is E3 here. I'm going to double check that's E3, but I'm 99% sure that's E3. So that would mean that I removed E3 from here. Oh, you know what? That would explain it. This piece is not E3. The reason why it's not fitting right is because it's the wrong piece. So it is good to double check that stuff. It's probably E4 or something that I removed there, but I had the wrong piece there. I was like, this fit doesn't seem to fit well no matter what I do. And there was a good reason for that, because it was the wrong fucking piece. Anyway, I, despite not being in a union, benefit from union activities, from being on 2 different television shows that were made with SAG-AFTRA, that were union shows. If I did a Hulu show, I was in one episode of Difficult People, and if that hadn't been a union show, I would have been paid once for my appearance in it. But because it was a union effort, when Hulu sells that show to other services in other countries, or sells even a dub of it in other places, my likeness is still there. I occasionally get some amount of money for that work, which is phenomenal. That's very good. It is and like I said, if that was not a union show, I would have gotten far less. Line with grooves, tightly fit the parts. Okay. So always happy about that interaction. And then again, when I did the Comedy Central show, I think I've talked about this before. So I did Broad City, an episode of Broad City. So John, no and yes. I did not see Billy Eichner. Billy was not in the portion of the episode that I am in. I want to say this. Billy and I interact in the scene. We were not in a position to talk to one another. I do know Billy Eichner from before that, when he did comedy stuff and I was around. Billy either did not recognize me or chose not to say anything that he did recognize me. Either way is fine. I got that. I was suggested for a role in that show because of Julie Klausner, who I knew better for many years. Julie was not on set for that episode, or that part of the episode, which is a shame, because it would have been nice to say hi to Julie. I originally went out for a different role in that scene. That was a much bigger role. That Wayne Fetterman, who was a much better fit for that, as he was actually friends with Larry Wilmore, who was the star of that scene. He was the guest star on the episode. The bit was that Billy Eichner was the warm-up comic for a Larry Wilmore talk show, which does not exist, but that was the premise there. I was an audience member that was shouting things. But yeah, no, I originally auditioned for Wayne's role, the role that Wayne got, and did not get that role, but then they called me later for that role. But yes, the reason I was on the call list of people to audition, I had been on a call list for them for a while for the right part, because I was someone that Julie thought would be good in something. So when I did Broad City, that was my second time doing something from Comedy Central. And so I got paid an amount of money to do that episode. I had lines, I had some banter, I did some improv that they didn't use, which is fine, because I don't think it was particularly great banter and improv, but it was good. I was one of like 4 or 5 people in that episode that I knew, which was nice. Some people wasn't in the scene with, so I didn't even know their episode, which was fun to see later. Be like, oh, cool. Well, somebody I know was in that. I need E1 and E2. But yeah, I mean, I did that, and then I get residuals for that. When Comedy Central sells Broad City that season as a package to other countries or to other services, streamers and all that, I do get some amount of money, which is excellent. Because, at the time I wasn't getting an incredible amount of money. It was good, but it wasn't like life-changing. Now, I said that was the second time I did something for Comedy Central. The first time I did something for Comedy Central, even though it was a SAG-AFTRA at that time, just AFTRA, it was an after show, I didn't get paid. I signed a release saying that I wasn't being paid. And so I never got paid for it. Just never got any payment. It was a favor. It was the pilot for the Adult Swim show Fat Guy Stuck in Internet. It was the second ever Adult Swim live action show. It was a Tron parody. The first ever live action was Saul of the Mole Men, and this was the second one that they had. And I did that, and I was happy to do it as a favor. The hope was that, because basically I was an office worker that freaked out because a guy got sucked into the internet. I was one of many people that got freaked out by that. And then the idea was that when they did season 2 or 3, and he came back, that then we would be able to get paid for that, and we'd get lines, and it would be like a whole thing. Which again didn't happen because they only did 1 season of it, and that's fine. But I didn't get paid for that because that was a favor. They did not have a budget to pay for non-verbal extras. It wasn't even under 5s. It was like, oh yeah, you're not saying anything in this episode, so we can't pay you, but we will feed you. And I was like, all right. Like, yeah, okay. It's fine. Sometimes you do a favor for friends. It's okay. Do they dub it overseas? Who dubs Japanese Pat Baer? I don't know, John. I don't know. I do believe that Broad City has been dubbed into other languages, because I know it's been on television in France. Sometimes the residual checks don't get granular, but that one did. That one I know, at least in one instance, that that was the case. That it had a French release. Now I don't know if that was subtitled or dubbed. I have not heard that in any other language. I do not know. Dirty. That might be. There might be there might be lines of dialogue of mine dubbed in Espanol. I don't know. Again, I am not fully aware of that in either way. I would assume that they might have done that, but I don't know for sure. And it would be, kind of fun to know. But yeah. So all that to say, union efforts. Fat Guy Stuck in Internet was the first show on Adult Swim to be AFTRA, because they were in AFTRA and weren't going to quit the union to do a non-union show because animation didn't have to be in SAG-AFTRA. And in fact, they never would have flown. But because it was live action, Saul the Mole People, I guess, wasn't a union show. Saul Mole Men or whatever that was called. That wasn't a union show, but they were like, this has to be AFTRA. We're in AFTRA. It has to be a union show. But I had to sign a waiver, basically, which is like, at the time I was like, sure, You know, in hindsight, I wish I hadn't. I wish I had. I mean, I'm in it briefly. It's fun to say that I'm. It's fun to say that I was briefly in an Adult Swim show. That is fun. I mean, it's become less fun as they become less relevant. But it was nice to say that I am briefly in the first episode of a TV show that aired on Adult Swim, and then later Comedy Central. It was nice to say like, oh yeah, I'm also in a Comedy Central show. That is nice. I was in an episode of a show that aired on True TV. I have been on as an audience member in costume. So I have technically been on True TV. And that's a fun little bit of business to say. You know, it's like that's a true thing. Again, that was not a paid appearance. That was be an audience member for the show. Oh yeah, you're in costume. That's fun. We'll put you on camera. But yeah, turns out being part of a union effort, that's good. To get back to some news stuff, so Meta shut down 3 VR studios. And there are also Twisted Pixel Games, Sanzaru Games, and Armature Studios. And then a bunch of 10% of Reality Lab employees were laid off. So that's Twisted Pixels, who have made a variety of fucking cool ass video games over the years. Just like they have a great track record of cool ass video games. And so obviously that's a bummer. Amateur Studios did the Resident Evil 4 VR. Asgard's Wrath is apparently pretty good, and that was made by Sanjura. And of course the Meta spokesperson used the fucking because the humanity asking or expecting humanity is silly. Literally, a statement to game developer from a spokesperson from Meta was, we said last month that we were shifting some of our investment from metaverse towards wearables. And that's wearables with a capital W, because fuck you. This is part of that effort, and we plan to reinvest the savings to support the growth of wearables this year. So literally your statement is like, yeah, the savings we get from laying off all these people will be able to further invest in wearables. Fuck you. Fuck you for that shit. It sucks. Let's see. We got a really tiny sticker here to apply. Try to apply this very tiny sticker. No. Stabbing myself. Where did it go? I have lost the tiny sticker. Is it there? Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. I have. That tiny sticker was so tiny that I had it on my finger, and when I went to try to get it up on my knife, it has disappeared. So, sorry, sticker number A7. You were too fuck. Oh, there it is. Oh, now, all right. I do think I see it. Or use the thing here. Nope, that is not it. That's just a nubbin. All right. Well, that's fine. I don't need it. It's infused in your bloodstream now. Yes, it's gone. It's embedded in me. It lives with me now. There. Well, no. Why can't I? Okay, so this looks like this. This looks like that. These fit together like that. That makes sense. And then this goes on here. I'll tell you, some of these instructions leave a little bit to be desired, or a lot to be desired. Yeah, some of these instructions not Not my favorite. Let's see. Yeah, Reality Labs are just getting a bunch of stuff killed. And then also a bunch of layoffs at Camouflage, who made the Batman Arkham Shadow. And basically they are now just a skeleton crew to handle updates for some of their ongoings that are profitable, I guess. And then, yeah, canceled games and all that. It sucks. All these layoffs suck shit. Just a handful of employees who are working on new user experience for upcoming hardware. So yeah, they're just kind of stuck. All right, what am I doing here? What's this? Yeah, there was supposed to be a tiny little sticker that goes right in the center there. And I just don't know where that sticker ended up because it was like so unbelievably tiny that it's gone forever. It may reappear. It could just reappear on something, but it was unfathomably small and gone. But yes, why is this piece, A1-5, goes on this here somehow, and I'm not sure how it goes on. Can I get it on there? Oh, it goes on like that. Okay. And then this goes here. Maybe that doesn't go like that. Yeah, some of these instructions are not particularly clear and a little frustrating. I'll say. All right, I think that's right. I mean, there's going to be a front piece that goes on over this anyway, and when I go and put the front piece on, I'll find out if I did this correctly or not. That's about as best as I can do. All right, let's move on to... This is the piece that I thought I was putting on correctly, but now I know that this is the piece that needed to be. And then I need D43 and D43. One more thing about Meta is that they... let's see. Twisted Pixel was also working on Deadpool VR. Ray West's, a bunch of developers talked about that, and designers being laid off. Let's see. There was one other layoff. There are some other layoffs here, but there was one other layoff that kind of made news from Unity. He hadn't been there long, 2024. Larry, aka Major Nelson, formerly Major Nelson, has been laid off from Unity. He joined them as Director of Community and Advocacy, which is kind of fucking wild. And of course, we know this because he wrote about it on LinkedIn and talked about after nearly 3 decades of making an impact at Microsoft, I joined Unity in 2024. Now, of course, he's saying this on LinkedIn, right? Because he will want to have another job. So if you're like, Pat, this really reads like him pitching himself in this. It is that is what he's doing, it seems like. I joined Unity in 2024. During my time there, I rebuilt their community and advocacy team with a deliberate strategy that created a clearer, more connected experience for creators, developers, and gamers. Sure you did, Larry. We brought energy back to channels that had gone quiet, restored trust. Sure you did, Gary. and showed up consistently where it mattered. I elevated Unity's visibility at PAX. That's probably a good idea. Sure. And key industry events, strengthened relationships. Sure you did. And ensured Unity had a clear voice in the broader conversation. I've had invigorating conversations over the past weeks with companies in tech and non-tech spaces to discuss partnerships. I love what I do, but I also believe change is necessary. I'll let you know where I go from here. So it's one of those things you're like, so did priority shift? Was it not the right fit? Like we don't know. We don't know what happened with Larry, but it is interesting that like that was seen as a coup, right? That was seen as a big maneuver to bring in Larry, and the thing that a friend said about this was, oh, does Unity think that they got back to where they were before they started to try to overcharge and people left to go work and use Godot and all that other stuff? And it's like, did they think Larry solved it in like a year and change? Like maybe they think that he solved the problem. And so they're like, well, problem solved. We can move on to the next thing. We did it. Job well done, Larry. But it does seem kind of wild. Let's see. Runtime fee. That's right. It was. Yeah. Yeah. So who knows? It is a little weird, but there you go. I found it. This little bit of green there, that's the sticker I was looking for. I don't know if okay, I can get it onto my skin. Oh, all right. So right now it's on the end, I don't think you can see that, but it's on the end of this toothpick. It's now near where it needs to be. It's not where it should be. Again, this is unbelievably small. I'm gonna use my my X-Acto blade here because it's maybe I can stab it. It's on the rim. Okay. This hurts my eyes to focus on it. I'm gonna try it. Okay. It seems like that sticker sheet. Yes. This sticker sheet is all tiny stickers except for like the eye stickers. Yes. These are all tiny stickers. I will use almost none of them, but I will use a few of these on weapons and such. But yes, they are all pretty small. This one is, some of the head stickers I'll use. Okay, so can I get this off my knife where it is? This is just an unbelievably small sticker. The fact that I managed to find it at all is remarkable. All right, it's on. So now I'm going to try to... Nope. I'm trying to get it off the knife so I can then put it back on the knife. Okay, so it's on my here. Putting it on the edge of the knife now. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Oh, I've lost it again. Oh, there it is. It's on the floor. It's on the table, I should say. Okay. Whew. So I'm going to try to get this lined up where I want it and then push off with toothpick. I have no idea where that went. I have lost it again. Oh, there it is. This is infuriating. This sticker is so small. I just can't get it. I mean, even if I had, like, if I hadn't assembled this and I was trying to put it where it belongs, it's just such a fucking tiny sticker. But now I have it. Kind of where, I mean, it's not where it should be. It's near where it should be. I'm getting frustrated. All right, yeah, it's now stuck. It's literally stuck in. There it is. Nope, it's gone again. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it. It's right here. All right, I've given up on this. I'm giving up on the sticker. It's technically inside there. It's somewhere in there. It's fine. Oh, now it's outside of it. It fell outside of it. This is an unbelievably small sticker. Let's see. Let's see. Apparently, there is a theory that Monster Hunter Wilds is not necessarily great on PC. And there is now a running theory that the reason is that it has to do with if you have DLC or not. And apparently, this was tested by somebody made a mod for the game that just bypasses the checks for DLC. And that is then the person that has done this had literally made a patch for Dragon's Dogma 2 that they say actually got used in the PC version. But apparently, like, if you download this mod, if you don't have the DLC and you download the mod and it bypasses the checks for the DLC, you get better frame rate on PC, and that is the only change you need to make. So that seems fucking fucked. And you know, conspiracy theories will be like, oh well, they're doing that because they want you to buy DLC, but it's like, but you wouldn't know that. You'd only know that if you bought DLC and suddenly it played better. Like, it is probably just a fuck up that they didn't account for, and you know, and nobody noticed. But apparently somebody had gone and played the game on their friend's computer, which is similar to their computer, and it ran better, and the only major difference was their friend had some DLC for it. So that seems to be the thing. All right. I think I'm going to... Okay. I did it. Let's see if you can see. Yes, you can. There it is. At the very center, there is a very small green sticker. Sorry about my hands, but whatever, you know, I was moving bags of rocks today. There's a that sticker was a fucking nightmare to get in there. And now it's there. That was a pain in the fucking ass. But there we go. Now I got a tiny sticker on there, and I am relieved. Oops, too far. I went too far. Went too far, everybody. There we go. Okay, now we can continue. It'll stop shaking now that it shakes when I touch it. So that's just how the overhead works. Okay. Cut out cleanly. A38 and 39 are the next things. Oh no, I have more parts here. Sorry, I'm over here. C14 and C25. Thank fucking God though. That was really annoying because I just didn't know where it was, and then once I found it, I was like, I'm gonna get this right, and I'm glad I did. But Jesus. So yeah. And so again, it's not that you have DLC, it's that apparently it's the DLC checks. And also I should mention, there are 100 pieces of DLC for Monster Hunter Wilds, both free and paid DLC. And so it seems like that might be, because apparently people have been complaining about Wilds, getting worse over time. With various updates, and every update is a DLC update. So yeah, it kind of like makes sense. We'll see. But then also we'll see if when the next patch comes out, if it gets incorporated, if that mod gets incorporated in the next patch, and suddenly it just fucking works better. Which is interesting. I don't know. I found that interesting. I hope that that PC players of the game get that mod going and have a better time playing the game. Because that's fucked. Alright, so... No, it doesn't go like that. So it must go... It goes like this. And then... Goes like that. Okay. All right, we'll continue to work on this. I got to do more D stuff get cut out here. We'll continue to work on this model kit after the pause for the cause. But we will take a brief break. Oh, actually, I want to do this here. Do this copy. Bring that over here. Over here. Bring that in. Great. Sorry, I just had to do one quick little thing. Now is the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you. That's right, you, about ways that you can support what I do here. Everything I'm about to talk to you about is optional. You're under no obligation to do any of these things, but if you would like to support what I do here, you're more than welcome to. I'll give you some options. And again, you don't have to, but you can. If you're currently a subscriber to the Build with Baer Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you'd like to support me here, Cash Money, Amazon Prime, link it with your Twitch, get that token. It's the easiest way to support me because you're already here. You could gift a sub to somebody in the community if you want to do that. Also, bits and coins always appreciated. So if you'd like to throw some cheer my way, you could do that as well. That's just, the easiest way because you're already here. There are other ways, and I'll mention those. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. Over on my Patreon, there's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. Tomorrow, my schedule for the rest of January will go up, and patrons will get to see that before other people do. So you'll get a good chance of, what I'm doing on Tuesdays and what you can look forward to on streams and that kind of thing. So consider joining me on Patreon. I, of course, have a YouTube channel. Who doesn't? Am I right? At youtube.com/PatBear. Over my YouTube, you can, of course, subscribe for free, and please consider doing that. And you can also become a member. And for just $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday, which is pretty neat. So you can just see those ahead of time. So the video that I posted yesterday for everybody to watch, which I'll talk about in a little bit, you would have seen that on Tuesday. It's pretty nice. Those are all monthly ways to support me. If you just want to one time, throw something in the tip jar, I've got a Ko-Fi and a PayPal, and everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, I pull money out to buy model kits and equipment. I got a good backlog, so I think the next thing I'm going to be buying with some of the Twitch money that came in yesterday, actually came in, I'm going to buy a gear upgrade. I am going to purchase, the plan is anyway, is that I'm going to purchase a breakout box HDMI to USB adapter instead of using the dongle adapter that I currently use for this camera. I'm going to experiment with something that's a breakout box, as I said, which I think will work better than what I'm currently doing. That it will, it'll live on the desk and go down there, and I could hot swap it with other things easier than that. And it should theoretically, anyway, lead to a better image from the camera, which will be great. We'd love that. So that, I think, is the next thing I'm going to be buying. As I said, I do have a backlog of stuff. Now, if you would like to decide on what I build next, if you don't want it to be for my backlog, you could buy something from my Amazon wish list. Then it will come to me in the mail and it will jump the queue. It'll be the next thing I work on. I'll even make a dedicated video for my YouTube channel about the thing you purchased. On my Amazon wish list, I have model kits and Lego sets. I've got these Blokies Transformers. I'd really like to build one of those. At some point, I will probably just get them. But if you wanted to buy one for me to build, you certainly could. I got some model kits for you to consider picking up for me to put together. A bunch of things and things. Inexpensive kits, expensive things. Hey, there's going to be a new Votoms anime out. They just put a trailer out for that, a teaser trailer. I have a Votoms. I have the burglary dog from Armored Trooper Votoms Brilliantly Shining Heresy. I've never built a Votoms kit, but if you want me to build one of those ahead of the new show, I could build that. And that would be neat. But yeah, I got Lego and model kits, all kinds of different things and things. If you want me to build a G-Self with the perfect pack from G-Reco, I got that on the list. There's from Gundam Seed Freedom. The Gundam Seed Freedom of Char Zagok is there, and that is, there's a coupon, so you can get that for cheap if you want to do that. I mean, you could. There are a bunch of things and things there that you could pick up if you wanted me to build them. Again, it's optional, of course. I have a wish list on Throne. That is my alternative to Amazon. I got to refresh that again. I'm trying to keep up with it, but then I forget. And of course, the most convoluted way to support me financially is to go to USA Gundam Store and buy a gift card. At USA Gundam Store, you can buy a gift card, and they'll send you a code with in your email. You can then copy that code and send it to me via a whisper here on Twitch or a DM on Blue Sky or Mastodon. I have finally closed down. You cannot send me a DM on Twitter unless we follow each other. This is part of me fully getting out of the Twitter sphere. In that my DMs are no longer open. They used to be for quite some time, and then sometimes people did DM me. But now my DMs are no longer open, and despite that, I'm still getting some spam, which is great. It's just backlog message requests from like December 15th, which is insane. But yeah. I had a backlog of message requests, I guess, of all spam. So yeah, message me on one of those other services if you wanted to. If you want to support me but not financially, I have a Discord. We'd love to see you in the Discord. Feel free to jump in that place. You're more than welcome to hang out there. A couple of video links for you to check out. The latest episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club was recorded in December here on Twitch, and it was me talking about the fall anime season that had just ended and the winter season that was about to start, which we're now in. So you can check that out if you want some thoughts on the upcoming shows and all that, and also the previous season if you want to get caught up on what you should have watched that season. You get some help there. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series where every week I recommend something that I think you should check out, and I do it under in a minute because it's YouTube short. In this video, I talk about May I Ask for One Final Thing, which was one of my favorite shows from the fall 2025 season. It's about Scarlet, a girl that just wants to seek justice. And by justice, I mean punching people in the face who are committing crimes. She loves punching people in the face. It's her favorite thing, in fingerless gloves while wearing a dress and being very fucking cool. Scarlet rules. It's a fun, I think I called it a romp, and I stand by that. I believe in the video I call that show a romp. Anyway, watch my 1 minute about that, and then watch the show. I've got more anime to talk to you about, kind of different vibes for both of them. And in order to talk about those two shows, sorry, let me just real quick fix this one thing here. There we go. Okay. In order to talk about those two shows, I need to dramatically transition back to the overhead camera. I gotta drink some water. And we'll get ready to talk some anime and such. And we'll do all of that right now. All right. John wants me to hit the dance button, and I will. I will get out D45 on both of these while the dance button does its thing right now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ba-doop-boop-boo-doop-boop. Ba-doop-boop-boop-boop. Ba-doop-boom-boom-boom-boom. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Oh yeah. Yes, it's very funky. Got a lot of funky beats for this year. These are all songs that I got off YouTube. YouTube's music library. So theoretically, there will not be any issues with me having them play. And I won't get any problems there. Of course, you know, there's always the risk that something has been claimed that shouldn't have been claimed, but everything should be fine. Playing all the songs I got there and the new dramatic transition song. Should all be good. Okay. Cut out cleanly. A39, A38. We'll get those clean before we talk about anime. Isekai office worker. The other world's books depend on the bean counter, and a gentle noble's vacation recommendation. I was talking to someone today about this, how there are 3 BL Isekai this season. Not just 3 BL, not 3 boys love shows. There are 3 boys love isekai. Now, one of them is a light anime, which means that it has limited animation. It's like a 4-minute short, and it's on Ocean Vale. So I'm not going to watch it because I don't want to subscribe to. Oh, I don't want to pay like $12 a month to watch a 4-minute show. So I won't be checking that one out. But I'm watching the other 2 for Thursdays. These are the things. And John did watch episode 2 of Isekai Office Worker, so I'm sure that has some thoughts here. Let me get this. Oops. Uh-oh. Yes, I'm sure John has some thoughts on this one. My overall thought, I shared this on Blue Sky. If you saw my Blue Sky, maybe you saw that. That it is my opinion that the creator of this, which is I believe a manga and a light novel. Yes, a manga and a light novel. The creator of the light novel of Isekai Office Worker must have read a lot of fanfic, because the reason that this show is boys love is the most fanfic explanation of people getting together that I have seen in a very fucking long time. And I must make this clear. That is not me saying this is not negative. Real out of BL doujinshi, yes. But like, because it is a trope, it feels nostalgic. It feels familiar. I went into the show, especially episode 1, being aware that this was a BL. I knew that both this and A Gentle Noble's Vacation Recommendation are both BL. And I wasn't sure how either of them was, and how they presented themselves to be, but I was aware of that. And so I was interested in finding out how they get set up. And in this case, again, it's I'm sorry, these pieces have to go in cleanly. How it's set up in this one is to save his life. They're gay. They're gay for salvation, in a way. Seiichiro, our main character, he was a workaholic in his previous life. He's been isekai'd. It was an accident. He's there. He shouldn't be there. He was a salaryman, and he wants to stay busy. He just wants to keep working. Often, black company isekai, the people that were in a black company and now in another world, they have a slow life. Of course, the slow life spirals because they're powerful and all that. Generally, they don't want to live the way they did. But in this case, they do live that way because they seemingly have no way to avoid that. In this case, our guy is like, wants to work and has been working very hard. And in the process of working very hard, has been having tonics, basically drinking tonics like energy drinks. And he overdoses on the tonics and collapses. And then Aresh, who is, what is Aresh's title? I wrote it down in my notes. Oh, he's the commander. He's the commander in the accounting department. He's like, fuck, all right. So he's applying healing magic, right? He's overdosed. I'll give him healing magic. Well, hey, our guy's never been exposed to magic before because he's from another world and he doesn't have any tolerance for magic. So he has magic sickness. And he has no resistance. Like, people in that world are develop a resistance from when they're born. He doesn't have that resistance because he was never been exposed to magic. So healing magic is literally killing him. And again, in a very doujinshi, in a very fanfic / fic methodology, the solution is to have our guy absorb Aresh's magic so that the magic that's already in his body will settle. And the best way to do that is for them to have sex with each other. So they do. Episode 2, intimacy. Transactional sex in episode 2, we'll say. We won't say intimacy. Yeah, it's already here. Next morning, whoa, they also hold hands. Yeah. But Miyabi, like, look, this is airing on Japanese television, right? Like, in a certain way, hey, it's fucking wild that this is out. It's wild that a popular but a subgenre has this and has this particular story. Again, Isekai, very fucking popular still, do very well. As I said, between TV, movies, OVAs, there are 14 Isekai out this season. So like, yeah, it's fucking big. Still, it's still a big dumb thing. But we got some actual BL right off the bat. So the next morning, our main guy, Seiichiro, wakes up and he's late for work, so he just fucking takes off. Which, hey, Aresh is fucking pissed off about that. Was Aresh looking for some pillow talk or some cuddling or some appreciation for saving his life? Perhaps. Is he catching feelings already? Maybe. But he's fucking, at the very least, he's annoyed by our guy rushing off to work. So, unfortunately, for our main dude is looking at this as a transactional thing. He does feel bad because his life was saved, so he's like, okay, well, I owe him. We'll figure something out. Aresh is just fucking grumpy, and then he's grumpy around Yua. Yua is the girl who has been, she was the one that was summoned, and she's starting to learn how to use her purification magic, the whole reason she was summoned. I can't believe they air this on ATX at 11 p.m. JST. Yeah, you know. It counts. It's out there. So Resh is fucking, he's like, hey, wait a minute. She can use magic? What's going on with the other guy? So he brings Sechiro to a medical director who is just like, well, you weren't the reason why you got summoned. Not even midnight. BL gets all the breaks while Yuri doesn't. Yeah, Yabby. I mean, like, in many ways, it is perceived that the audience for Boys Love is women, whereas the audience for Yuri is women and men, and therefore it gets a pass more. Yuri certainly get. Also, let's be real, a lot of Yuri is just queer baiting. A lot of Yuri. There is Yuri anime. For real, actual, these women are in love with each other anime. For sure. But there's also a lot of it that's just like, is this just girls doing things? And sometimes there are flirts, you know? And you're like, well. Or like, Rock is a Lady's Modesty, which is not Yuri, but it does understand toxic Yuri. It's somehow toxic Yuri without being Yuri, and it's phenomenal. Believe me, Rock is the Lady's Modesty fucking rules, but also isn't Yuri, even though the straight relationships between some of those girls are very toxic Yuri. So yeah, he didn't get magic protection when he got summoned because he wasn't the main one. So even a toxin can make him overdose. Yes, but you can say the same about shonen, sports shonen. Oh, yes, indeed. Homoeroticism. Oh, of course. Muyabby. There is, of course, teasing, queer baiting in especially boys' sports anime. And they know what they're fucking doing. They know what they're doing with that shit. Oh, 100%. They very much know what they're doing there. But they're like being more teases in that respect. All right, why can't I get these pieces to line up right? That's all I want. All I want is this chest piece to line up properly with the back piece here and slide in and not have stab myself. Let's try not to stab myself. So yeah, he didn't get magic protection, which means that even a watered down tonic, which barely has any magic, is enough to really mess with his internal system. All right, I'm going to try to put the front piece on first and see if I can figure that out there. It might be that I just didn't do something right on here, but okay, so that seems correct. This seems good. I think I've done this right. So now let's see if I can get the back piece on and have these snap together. And there's just like a couple more pieces that need to go on here, but should be pretty straightforward. And then this has to go like this. There we go. This is not perfect, but it is enough for me to say, all right, we can move on. There we go. Okay, yeah, that's on. All right. Now I got to put a clear piece over, and the sticker is going to be obscured a little bit, and then the back pieces. All right, so you get an overdose. Basically, there's even magic in the food in this world. So they've got to change his diet some because he is gonna, he's just eating food is gonna mess him up. So his diet gets changed, and they're also like, hey, also, you have to fucking sleep properly, dumbass. They didn't say it like that, but yes. So our guy now, does Aresh, he was only eating olive and had oops, oh no. I was laughing so hard. God damn it. I was laughing so hard that a piece flew out of my hand. Now I have to find it. It's a clear green piece. It's very tiny. I was laughing too hard at full bottom lifestyle. No need to apologize. I don't know where that piece went. It's okay. It's a tiny little green piece that has to go there, and it did fly out of my hands. And I'm going to... I found it. A clear piece on Pat's floor is going to be 10 minutes of searching. No, it was a clear green piece, John, so it wasn't super hard to find. Thank you very much. All right, so he has to get sleep. And here's the thing. Aresh is taking responsibility. Now, does Aresh need to take responsibility for this? No, but Aresh is like following him around, making sure that he's eating properly and all that. And everyone's just kind of like weirded out by it. That somebody is forcing this newcomer to eat properly and rest properly. And then Sechiro is just like, maybe if I could get back on the tonic, I'd even be willing to have sex regularly if it meant that I could have the tonic again. And then Aresh drags him out of the office, and they have dinner. And Aresh is like, hey, the king offered you like an easygoing life where you didn't have to do anything as like a thank you, as like a make good for what happened to you. Why didn't you take the offer? And then our guy is like, working is part of who I am, which also makes Aresh irritated. And so, again, we have to... Sex is the only way to save your life is fucking fanfic. That's a fanfic-ass explanation for why queer shit is happening. Like, right? Like, it's just fucking fanfic. And it's good. Like I said, it's nostalgic, this kind of, like, explanation. I was really pleased with it. I love the idea of a person who goes to another world and is still a workaholic in the same way they were before. And that kind of like drive to work yourself ragged is a thing you can't just overcome easily. The differences of transactional nature of this and not feeling the intimacy of it is something that like I think is relatable to some people, or on the other side of it, being surprised and dismayed that someone is not seeing the intimacy. They're seeing your intimacy as transactional is interesting. And again, like, boys love isekai is not a new thing. It certainly happened before, but like, it's just honest and earnest in this example of it. It's like it's just blatant and open to it. which is a little different from our next anime that we'll talk about, which again it is a different vibe in that in this case the other show we'll be talking about is like a show with a bunch of pretty boys, and it's just a show with all dudes. It's a different kind of thing. Oh yeah, Executioner's Way of Life is probably the best example of a completely honest and earnest Yuri Isekai. Just like this is not queer baiting. This is not like jokes about marrying someone or like in like Kuma Baer or trying to think of Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life, where it's like not really the butt of the joke, but like there are times where someone will say something about like, I'd marry her in a minute, and then everyone gets embarrassed about it, like that kind of thing. Yes, it's also about two people going through an isekai portal and questioning surroundings, and it's homosexual, both written by men. Yes, true, very true. Um, yeah, I don't know if we've had our at least in. Ooh, well, let's see. What is that anime? It's the Princess with No Magic. And that yes. The Magic Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady is gay. That is Yuri. And while the anime has to end because it's an anime, and like I was like, are they gonna like even tease this? Because the manga is like just taking the part of the manga, it's just like, oh yeah, no, yeah, this is Yuri. But the anime does get there. It's a glimpse of it, but it does get there. So like, good. That for the TV version is like, oh yeah, we're gonna do that, because I've heard that the manga is a little bit more is less than the novels are, but I don't know that for sure. That I did want to just mention that one because that is a Yuri Isekai. So the novels are sort of clumsy. I'm not surprised by that, but yeah, that doesn't surprise me that they're a little clumsy. Yeah, the manga takes longer for them to get to the anime. Basically, like I said, the anime was like, okay, we're done with the first arc. Also, the second arc is a long, dragged out thing, but at the end of it, they're gay. So we're just going to show you that, which is nice. ILTV is goated Yuri Isekai, though. Oh, yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong on that. Look at the. Yes. I mean, that is just. Yeah, that's some Yuri-ass Yuri. I'm in love with the villainess. Yeah, with the true villainess, yes. Yes, that is. Or I favor the villainess, I believe some of the scanlations were calling it for a while there. Yeah, that is just great. Like, it's not just. I also say that it doesn't become a lesbian storyline, but there is a what if of Zenshu, where it is very clear that there is a woman that has feelings for our main character, who's also a woman. And there is almost like a what if of if that show had not become fantastical, perhaps they would have ended up together. But her heart belongs to an anime boy. So it's like, sorry, this is not gonna happen. But it is one of those things where you're like, oh, cool. Okay. Yes. Wadaoshi. Yes. All right, let's talk a little bit about A Gentle Noble's vacation recommendation. A friend of mine and I were texting about anime this season, and they said, I fucking love how this dude is isekai'd mid-sentence. He's having a conversation. He gets isekai'd, and he just immediately is like, huh, I'm in another world. Okay. Because it's not like Japan to another world. It's just a different world with, like, other rules. But he's like, yeah, I can use magic. And I love that he's like, from the first episode, that he's like, well, the thing is, I'm very important, so eventually the king will just summon me back. Like, it's like, I'm gonna get summoned back, so I'm just gonna treat this like a vacation, because, like, whatever. I enjoy that very much. We got Lysel. He has been isekai'd. He is a noble, as I said. He has now hired Gil, who is a famous adventurer, to be his guide in this world while he is on vacation. And so they can't prove that he becomes an adventurer. They can't prove he's a noble, because nobles can't be adventurers. But also he's just like, well, you definitely can't prove I'm a noble because I'm not from here. So they end up forming a partnership. There's the guild employee is named Stud, which feels very on the fucking nose. It's very on the nose. I don't dislike that his name is Stud, but it's very on the nose. But basically the end of the episode, episode 1 is, hey, our guy, somebody is insulting Gil, and that pisses off Lysel, and Gil is confused by that because Lysel is like, they just met, but basically it's like, oh, is that because he's attracted to him, or is it just because I chose this guy to be my guide and you can't disrespect the guy that I'm chosen? We're not sure. Episode 2, Lysel, we find out, and also Gil finds out, that Lysel's magic is gun summoning, which is interesting. Sure, he can summon guns. Cool dude. And Lysel gets really excited about the idea of a newly discovered labyrinth. Because the first person to clear a labyrinth gets a huge reward, like the biggest reward possible if you clear a labyrinth before other people do. You know, being the first is the best. All right, we finished the chest. We can now move on to doing both shoulders, which we can do at the same time. So we will do that. We can put this away because I don't think I have any stickers left in the rest of this stream. So I think I can just focus on doing this here. So we'll get that together, B6 and B6. Well, that's B9. I was going to say, I'm like, where's B6? It's right there. But the labyrinth, this labyrinth has puzzles, and so it's been tough for people to, obviously. Apparently, because this is a little bit of a slice of life, like easygoing, kind of slow life thing, Lysel can just solve these puzzles because the puzzle he was looking at is in language from his world, which gives our guy his first time being freaked out, because he's like, am I in the past or the future? Is this my world, just a different time instead of a different world? Because why is like the language that he knows in this puzzle. But either way, he solves it. But he's a little concerned because that changes things. Being summoned is one thing, time travel is another issue. So, which is like, oh, that's kind of interesting that like our guy was pretty cocky and self-assured, and now he's having like a moment of being a little apprehensive about what's going on, which is like, oh, all right, well, that's cool. They go relic hunting in another labyrinth and find 2 teddy bears. Which is very cute. The adventurer Ein is just like, hey, the hints you gave me about that puzzle, we solved the puzzle because of you. And so they negotiate to basically, in exchange for him solving all the puzzles, and in which case they will take the credit, they'll give him half the reward, because Lysel doesn't need the fame. He's not planning on sticking around too long here, so he doesn't need to for everybody to like think he's incredible. But he's like, he still wants to get paid. He's still got to pay for his bodyguard. He's still got to like live a life he's accustomed to in this fantasy world. So he still wants to get paid, which makes sense. Stud introduces them to a quest sponsor who received the teddy bears. That they were on a quest to get those teddy bears, so they go and turn those over. His name is Ray, and he is in charge of the military police, and he is also a noble. He's a viscount. And Ray is just like sizing up Lysel and just like, like they have like a brief conversation, and it's I think now this could be more like more like stuff that's like, oh, this is gonna maybe turn into something where we're gonna get a multiple people being interested in Lysel. But it's very good because they have a brief conversation, kind of size each other up, and then Ray is like, we should be friends. It's very cute and fun that he's just like, all right, there's something about this guy. I want to hang out with him. Ein and his party clear the labyrinth. They did it, everybody. They pay Lysel his reward. And Lysel is just like, later talking to Gil and is like, hey, I don't know a lot about this stuff, but I know that you are skilled enough to become A rank. Why are you hanging out in B rank? Why haven't you ranked up? He's like, well, if I'm A rank, then I have to take special requests from nobles, and it's not worth trouble. And so it's like, okay, so we're hinting at some stuff. Maybe that's why, he did accept this job. Why did he accept? If he doesn't want to deal with nobles, why did he accept this job from a guy who's clearly of nobility? Like, what's going on there? And we as the audience might have some questions about what's going on. But those questions will have to be answered for another time because their partnership is over. The contract is done. And Lysel's just like, all right, well, I made some money doing these quests, so I'm going to pay you what I owe you. And then Gil is like, I'm sticking with you. I'm going to keep guarding you for a while. So this partnership is going to continue. And then we'll see what happens there. Every boy is pretty in this show, or handsome, or both. It is definitely appealing to peruse this particular series. Is it? I find that Office Worker Isekai is more interesting in its characterization. This one, Office Worker, feels like this story is inherently about these two characters and their building relationship, whereas A Gentle Noble's Vacation recommendation is so far just a slice of life with a character who isn't overpowered, but certainly could get overpowered, who happens to surround himself with men. And so it is, explicit is not the right word for it, because while the first one is more explicit than the other, the word I'm actually looking for is like obvious, plain, in your face. I don't know. I'm more intrigued by the first and the second, but I like both of them, and they're doing different things. And I've said this consistently, and I will keep saying this. Excellent queer anime is important, but also mediocre queer anime is important. Bad queer anime is important. Options. If you feel like, well, there's only one Yuri show this season, I'm going to have to watch it because I like watching Yuri shows, that's bad. If there are a multitude of you and you can pick and choose what you watch, that's great. If you're like, this Omegaverse show kind of fucking sucks, and that's a shame, it's like, yeah, that's a fucking shame. I wish there was a good one for you, and for me. Or if you're like, there are three BL Isekai this season, I'm watching 2 of the 3. That's fucking weird, kind of wild, and I'm on board for it. And I like them. I like these 2 for different reasons. And like I said, I do have my preference, but I'm not out here saying that like, oh, well, one of them I can't watch anymore. I'm only going to watch this one. I'm not going to watch the other one. It's like, nah. I got room. I got room for both. I contain multitudes, and I can watch a bunch of different. As I said, I am currently watching 5 isekai. The full list of what I'm watching is Isekai Office Worker and Gentle Noble's Vacation Recommendation, as we say here. Noble Reincarnation, which is just power fantasy. Reincarnated as a dragon hatchling, which I'm going to give a couple episodes. I may drop, but I'm going to give it a couple episodes because I like the premise. I do like a weird world, I do like a story where it's like, oh yeah, it's slightly different from the norm. So I am interested in that. I need one more of these, huh? And Easygoing Character Defense by the Optimistic Lord, which is just, again, it is an isekai, but it also is part of the banished style of show, where the main character is clearly great, but because of hubris or misunderstandings of the main character, of another character, they are banished, and so they have to go and do their own thing to prove how good they are in the world, because they are clearly an overpowered main character. But they've been banished, and now they get to do cool shit. I do enjoy Easygoing Territory Defense by the Optimistic Lord. I enjoy that manga, and I'm enjoying the first episode that I watched. What am I going to be talking about on Saturday? I mean, I know I'm going to talk about Frieren. I will be talking about the first episode of season 2 of Frieren. That is definitely going to be on my Saturday, and also Easygoing Territory Defense, the second episode. I'll talk about that as well. Let's see. Anime is yeah. Let's see. Yeah, list of free run episodes. We're getting a look at that because it'll tell me when that is airing. I believe it's tomorrow. I'm 99% sure that season 2, yes, episode 29 or episode 1, depending on it, is coming out tomorrow. and I will be covering it. I'm excited about Frieren. It is my most anticipated show of the season, and also probably of the year. I don't know if there's anything else I'm more interested in. And then I have made the decision that I will not be talking about week-to-week Oshinoko Season 3 because I started that episode and I was like, I don't care about this part. So I am not hate watching it. I must make this clear. But it does feel like I'm hate watching it when I cover it weekly. So I am just going to marathon that show at my leisure when I want to, which I think is the best way for me to enjoy that particular program, is just that. Is Delicious in Dungeon Season 2 coming out soon? I want to say that's this year, John. But I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Let me see the anime. I know it's coming, but let's see. At the Season 2, animated by Studio Trigger. Official Japanese website, official English Twitter. Let's see if Dungeon Meshi has anything here. Season 2 is confirmed. That's the extent of it. Season 2 is currently in production, is what Delicious in Dungeons official said on January 12th. That is the extent of my knowledge of Season 2. So I'm going to say, no, it's not coming out soon, John, because they wouldn't say in production if it was coming out this year. They would say Season 2 coming in blank. But I don't think it's coming out this year. Now, I might be wrong, of course, but I feel like they would promote it if it was coming out at the end of the year. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of good shit coming out this year. I mean, there's a bunch of good shit this season that I'm excited about. Jujutsu Kaisen is out this season. As mentioned, Frieren, Oshinoko Season 3. Like, there's a bunch of sequels and stuff this season that's really good. We're going to wrap up, I should say. This felt like this episode, this stream, the Ghost in the Shell. Yes, the Ghost in the Shell that is more based on the manga art-wise is reportedly this year, but we don't know. So, the build we did today, we did the chest and we did the waist, which doesn't feel like a lot, but it is, and it's starting to feel like this kit feels like it's coming together. Will I be able to get both arms done on Saturday? Maybe. I don't know. But it's a real grade, and real grades take a while to do because they are very intricate. Like, this chest was a lot of fucking pieces. So it's no surprise that it took long. Also, the sticker thing, which with this piece on here, you can't even fucking see that goddamn sticker. You can kind of see it, but not really. But whatever. That's going to do it for tonight's stream. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find someone doing cool stuff and go spend some time with them. A reminder that my next stream is on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. I would love for you to come see that. Save the date for February 6th, which is my subathon, my semi-annual subathon. Will be on Friday, February 6th. As John says, we always end with a raid. And I don't know who we're going to go raid. Go see. We do need a raid before Puppet Jared wraps up and raids me, because Puppet Jared does often raid me, which is great. We love that. Let's go raid my friend P2. P2 is online. P2 is playing Stoat Boy. Oh, sorry. P2 is playing Light Up the Town. Christmas is not over because P2's playing a fun Christmas game. So let's go hang out with my friend. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I will be back on Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, continuing to work on this phenomenal model kit, and also talking about anime and video games. I didn't even talk about how I'm almost by Saturday. I might be done with. I might have finished Fallout 4. This playthrough of Fallout 4, my first in years. I might be done. We'll find out on Saturday. But yeah, I might wrap it up. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.